Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, I've got a video here for you, and this is just to have a quick discussion in regards to Hedera and HBAR, because I think this is something that really does need to be addressed, because I know this is something that's been going on for a long time now with the current market action going on. Even though Hedera is pumping at the moment, I do still see some people saying like, it's not pumping like other cryptos and stuff like that. And it's just something I want to quickly address. I mean, I've already done a video speaking about this already, so I'm not going to go too deep into it because I've really addressed all the main points before. But it's just a quick thing that I want to point out, and this is what it is. If you are looking at Hedera right now as a bad investment just because of the price action, then you're not thinking like an investor. Right? That's just the truth of the matter. And I'm going to expand upon that in this video and explain why. So let's get into it. Okay, when we look at Hedera, and I'm putting this out to all you guys out there watching this video, when you think about you getting into Hedera and investing in HBAR, just think about what the things were that got you interested in HBAR and Hedera. What were the things that drew you to this crypto? Now, I'm just going to take a logical guess here, right? A logical assumption. I'm going to assume it was things like the governing council, things like the partnerships, the amounts of like use cases and utility it can provide, all these kinds of points and factors that would make you think, okay, Hedera seems like a very good company and a very good network, yeah? So when you think about those kind of things, fundamentally, Hedera sounds very strong. And I would agree with that. And so when you think about it from that aspect, you have done what we would call a sound investment. And what's that? It's basically you doing your research, looking at the fundamentals of a company, seeing that the fundamentals look strong, and making your investment decision based on those factors. That's what intelligent investing is. That's what smart money is. It's about investing in things that make sense, that have a future, that have longevity, right? Now, of course, something could happen with a company that you could never have thought of. Like, for example, a company could end up going bankrupt, or a company could end up getting exposed in fraud. There's different things that can happen that you would never have foreseen. Those are obviously unforeseen circumstances. But if you've done your research and you've made your investment thesis based on your research, you can't really knock yourself for something like that you could have never really foreseen happening. And that's exactly the same thing with the price action right now, right? Because this is the thing. Okay, there are other cryptos that are performing better than HBAR. But this is the problem. We're talking with the benefit of hindsight, right? You can never have known that those other cryptos were going to perform better, because if you knew that, you obviously would be invested in those cryptos. So you've basically done your research on a company, i.e. Hedera, and you've made your basis and your decision on the research that you have done. Now, let's get into some factors here as to why I'm talking about these things in regards to Hedera as a company. Some things I just want to point out here. So I've got this post here from the HBAR Foundation, and they're talking about a company called VR Jam, and they've migrated from Polygon to Hedera. So again, here we've got companies that are leaving networks like Ethereum, Polygon to go to Hedera. Yeah. So what does that say? Well, Hedera must have a great network for a lot of people wanting to migrate away from their previous network over to Hedera. That must obviously show that they're a good network that people want to work with. So this is only one company, but I've done quite a few videos over the last year or so, and you've seen that there's been companies who've left Ethereum as well because they've said, hey, Hedera is the better choice. And there's videos I've got where people have literally said, we chose Hedera as the network to develop on because it was the best option. So you've got all these things that are telling you what people are saying about Hedera. Okay, moving on. I've got here just a quick graph, and it's in regards to HBAR and Solana, and it's about their development activity. Now, at the beginning of the chart, you can see that Solana was in the lead. But as time has passed, Hedera has now actually surpassed Solana, okay? And the point that I'm making here is, look, I'm not here to knock Solana completely because I've not done enough research on Solana to be able to say exactly what they're like as a network. I've heard certain things, but I haven't done thorough research on them. So I'm not just going to bash them because I don't really feel like I know enough. But from what I have heard, there has been issues with Solana. Now, don't get me wrong, there was the exploit with Hedera as well, but the exploit with Hedera got managed very swiftly. Now, from what I've heard, and again, I'm saying what I've heard, so admitted, I'm not saying I know this 100%. I've heard that Solana have had like network outages and stuff like that on quite a number of occasions, which is quite concerning because Hedera's never had that kind of thing. And so when I'm just looking at that just on surface level, because these are just things that I've heard, and looking at this graph where you can see that Hedera has more developer activity, you can see that, again, Hedera seems to be the network of choice. So from a research aspect, again, it would seem that HBAR seems like a sound investment. Okay, so again, this is where I'm talking about with Solana with price. A lot of people have been saying, oh, well, Solana's pumping, why isn't HBAR? Look, who'd have known that it would be Solana that would take off? Who would have known that? In a prior bull market, it was Dogecoin that took off. Now, who would have known it would be Dogecoin at that time? Dogecoin is a meme coin. But Dogecoin absolutely rallied exponentially. And this is why I'm saying it's like, if we all had the benefit of hindsight, then of course we would just pick the cryptos that are going to blast off. But what I'm saying is, you need to stop getting frustrated looking at other cryptos because you didn't know that those cryptos were going to perform better. Right? Now, yes, okay, would we like to have our money now and have our great price action now? I'm sure we all would, of course, but I'm sure there's many things in life we would also like too that we haven't gotten. We don't always get to decide how we get things in life. Now, my thing is, do I still believe Hedera will have its moment to shine and will have its moment in price rally? I do truly believe that. I still believe, in my opinion, that HBAR, when the bull market comes, truly comes, because I think we are in a bull market, but I don't think it's solidified yet. But I think when we are 100% acknowledged that we are in a bull market and HBAR's time comes, I do think we're going to get our reward. That's what I believe. And that's why I'm sticking to my conviction with HBAR. So yes, Solana is pumping right now. But how do you know that HBAR may not perform better in the long term? Yeah, so Solana may have gone up, let's just say 100%, 200%, just as a rough guess. But then you might look at HBAR in the long term and it may take another 2 to 6 months. But what if HBAR then goes up like 3,000%? Well, then you may look and think, oh, well, yeah, short term Solana was doing great, but in the end, long term, Hedera did absolutely way better than Solana. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. We don't know. But the point that I'm making is, when you're just looking at the current price action, it's not always a good way to make your financial decisions. Because it's very easy to be emotionally distracted and emotionally reactive. And those are not good things. Because you're not thinking. You're going on emotion. Yeah, you're reacting because you're frustrated. You're just chasing a green candle. This is never a good idea. Because this is the kind of thing that leads to like panic selling. And it's the type of thing where you may sell one crypto to get into another. But if you're buying on a green candle, this could be Solana's top, right? And so Solana could plummet from here, losing massive amounts of value. And now you've just lost money. And whatever money you've put into there is now significantly dropped. And it's not like you can just go back into HBAR now because you haven't got as much money as you once had. But you could have just stayed in HBAR and maybe it wouldn't have been right now that it rises exponentially. But in the next however long, it could have its moment and rise exponentially. Do you see what I'm saying? And so this is why I'm trying to talk to you guys in regards to price, because I think when you're just looking at price as the only factor, it's not a good way to look at things when you're doing investing, guys. It's really not. So the next part I just want to get to, we've got here Charles Atkins, who has now become the president of the governing council for Hedera. Done a video on this recently. Charles Atkins has history with the government. He's worked for the government. He's worked for Nike. He's worked for Polygon. He's worked for numerous different entities, and we're talking big entities, right? So he's got a wealth of knowledge and connections that he's bringing to the table. And so when you look at this kind of person who's joining Hedera, why would he join Hedera if he thought that this was going to be a failing network, or if he didn't have confidence in Hedera's future? Like, this is his name that's on the line here, right? Like, he's got a lot to lose if this doesn't go well, because it's his reputation that's kind of at stake that he's built over many, many years. And so when you see someone of this caliber joining Hedera, again, it just makes me feel confident. It makes me feel confident because he feels confident. And so I'm just looking at this kind of stuff and I'm like, everything about Hedera just screams longevity. Everything just screams longevity. Just one other thing here. We've also got Btari, who's just recently been honored as one of the NYC FinTech's Women Aspiring Females of 2023. Like, she works with Hedera. These are the kind of people who are working for Hedera. And I'm just like, well, how can I feel nervous when all the fundamentals just scream that Hedera is an amazing network and an amazing company? I find it hard to look at this and be concerned just looking at price. Because I understand with price, it's temporary. Yes, okay, it's not rallying as much as you'd like right now. But long term, everything looks like it's in place for HBAR to have an absolutely incredible bull run. That's my opinion. And that's why I'm sticking to my conviction. So when I look at all these things in a nutshell, this is where I feel confident with my investment in Hedera and HBAR. And this is why I'm not fazed by the price action. Yeah, would I like the price action to go up now so I could have my reward? Obviously, of course. But I understand that these things are not in my control. So I have to wait. I just have to be patient and wait my turn. But I believe my turn is coming. And that's why I feel so comfortable. And that's why I don't just look at other networks and get frustrated. Because what's the point? You know, like, okay, we can look at Solana that's been having its turn. Okay, good for those holders. Happy for them. I want everybody to make money through crypto because this is the one way that people can make life-changing wealth, and pretty much everybody has the opportunity to do so. And you have a much better chance of success than doing, for example, like the lottery or something like that. So I want everybody to do well. But yes, of course I would love Hedera to be in Solana's position. Obviously I would. But at the end of the day, if I'm still comfortable with all the fundamentals of Hedera, why am I going to worry? It doesn't make me think that Hedera is not going to do well, because all the fundamentals are in place. And the other thing that I'm very aware of is that we're in a speculative market. We're not in a utility market. When we're in a utility market and companies are investing in cryptos because of the utility they can provide, the use cases and the things that they can solve, the real world problems, that's when I think Hedera's real time to shine will be. That's when I really see HBAR truly gaining value. And I don't know if that's going to be anytime soon yet, because I think that could take a bit of a time, because I think that's when like regulations come through and that kind of thing. But long term, I think Hedera has a massive future ahead of itself. And I'm not concerned with any of the founders of Hedera getting done for fraud or the network collapsing. I've got no kind of thoughts about that. And so yes, I could be in networks like Solana, or I could be invested in Pepe. But to me, those are gamble plays because I haven't researched them. So if I just got into any of those, I'm just chasing price. And that's not wise investing. That's not sound investing. That's emotional investing. And that's how you make mistakes. Everything about Hedera is a company that's telling you that it has longevity and it has a very, very stable future. And that is a wise investment. And that's why you've got to remember, guys, when you look at the price action for Hedera, people may complain right now, but what you've got to remember is when the bear market was in full effect, Hedera was one of the strongest performing cryptos. So okay, it may not have been rallying right now as much, but it was also staying strong when the bear market was occurring. It wasn't losing massive amounts of value. It was holding its price quite strong and stable. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth, guys. But everything that I'm showing you is a company to me that has longevity. So I'm not worrying about price action right now. I'm looking to the future and I'm just waiting for this bull market to come in, and then I'm excited to see where HBAR can go, because I really do believe it will have its moment, and I'm excited to see where that goes. So I'll leave it there, just some food for thought, and I just thought I'd cover this because, you know, I do still see a lot of comments about price, and I do think this is something we need to move away from. It's not the good way to be thinking if you are thinking as an investor. I am an investor. I'm not someone who just wants to chase price, because that's very short-term thinking, and I understand that's how you make mistakes. When you're thinking as an investor, you have to have a long-term mindset, and you can't be distracted by the other things around you. You can't let other companies and price action distract you, because again, that's what leads to you making mistakes. But what do you guys think? With everything that I've said about Hedera and HBAR as an investment, does this make you feel more comfortable? Does this actually make you interested in wanting to get into HBAR if you don't already have some? Or does it make you want to get any more? Or do you not like this? Is there anything in this video that I've said that you don't like the sound of? Or do you just not agree that anything I've said will be good for HBAR in the long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.